Hi Internet viewers, this is Frank Rauscher again. On our last video, I was showing you how to do the mantle, and this is the whole mantle completed with the burning technique I showed you. And what I'm going to do today is show you how to texture all the wings and the wing coverts in here. So I will reverse the camera and have it down so you can see how I do it, and let's follow through. Thank you. Okay, here we are. Like I said, I did all of the mantle with that burning technique, and I did it on a board to give you an idea how we got that done. And I'm looking for the board in front of me here, and I don't see it right off. But anyway, what I did was I burned on the leading edge and lifted as I came out, and I came down the middle of what you would call the C, and then flare to the left and flare to the right. So that is the technique in this area here. We did no lifting, but every time you burn deep on the leading edge here, that recesses it, and it gives you a real nice look of a very soft feather in there. What we're going to try to accomplish today is we're going to put quills in here, and what I'm going to do, if I could do this, I'll do it on the back end of this here pattern. I'm going to have a feather like this. I don't know if you could see it well. And I'm going to put a quill down the middle. Now what we're going to do is almost 45 lines going up to that quill this way. And we're going to go 45 degrees to the quill this way. And that's what we're trying to accomplish on all of these. But first what we're going to do is put the quill in, which is just a straight line burn. And then these, I'm going to show you some of the reasons why I don't burn from the inside out. I go from the outside in on these feathers, because it tends to lower this edge and give it a softer look on the end, because you already have some lifting going on in here. So that end being softened is fine. And when it comes up to the quill, you just stop short of the quill so you don't run through it. So let me just show you how I do some of this now, okay? I'm going to come in here. Oh, one other thing, I'm sorry. The quills, let me shut this off for a minute. The quill on the feathers here, in this segment right here, you got one down here, and one here. There's like staggered. You're coming down what would be like the middle of the feather. Then you have a couple little ones where the quills peek out, and that's that segment. On this grouping here, the only one that really shows the quill is this one. The rest of them are sort of tucked under the ones that are on top of it. And then you come down to these, you have one here, one staggered here, one there. And then when you come down to the very end, the primaries, you have a quill here and a quill there. All the rest are sort of hidden. And that goes the same for the other side. You got it coming down this way, this way, this way. These little staggers, that one, this one, this one, this one, and just this one up here. Okay, so what I'm going to try to accomplish on the first go around is just to get the quills in. So the quills are just strictly a straight line effect that I'm trying to get in here. So I lay it on the line and come straight down. Now, because these feathers are so small, some people do like a double quill to give the quill some thickness. We will do that on the center feather of the tail, but this is later. And we try to lift that to give it some, the quill some more shape to it. And these are just the ones I'm trying to capture here with the quill. And I'm just going to do the one side because what you see on this side is happening on the other side. So that's basically it right there. So, and I will do the same on this side. Now, when it comes to burning these here, I'm going to start with these three main ones coming down. And I'm holding this so that I burn from the outside in on a 45-degree angle. So I'm pressing out there, and if you notice, the dark burn is flattening the end of that feather as you pull in. And as you pull in, you're pressing the outside edge and you're guiding it in to the center of the, up to the quill. And that gives you a nice soft edge out here, and this just comes out really nice that way. So I find, not in all cases, we're going in the same direction, it's just burning away. This is just gives you a much nicer look on the feather. So I'm coming from the outside in, and I do this on the wings. It's just, for me, I think it's a better way of doing it. Some people just go in one direction, but I think that gives it a much softer look when you come down. So, excuse me, I'm going to keep on taking these down as we go. And again, it takes a little practice to get the steadiness. If I have too much white in between lines, I'll try to go back and redo them again. But on the outside edge, I'm pressing down a little bit more and then lifting as I come in. Very similar to what I did here. I press on, but in the mantle, I press in deep on the leading edge and pull out. This is sort of a little reverse of that. So I'm going to start out here and just take strokes inward. And if you notice, it's a darker burn on the outside of the feather, and it's a lighter burn inside, because what happens is the heat dissipates after you plunge it into the wood, and as you drag it out, it doesn't maintain that heat level, but that gives you a nice soft burn area on the ends. So I try to keep these pretty close too on the line work. If you don't, then you can just go a little faster, just fast strokes, not real heavy, and you can accomplish that. So I'm going to keep on doing this. I'll do a couple more, and it's the same 45-degree angle. Here's like your quill. So imagine the quill coming up under this feather. So you're really stroking what you already have out here. This angle you're trying to maintain as you go down the wings here. And you're basically keeping the same strokes. So I will get that area like that, and then I'll do one more, and I'll have a few more to do, but I'll do that on while I'm off the camera, because you don't need to see everything we're doing here, but I'm not trying to keep anything a secret, just trying to expedite the time that I have for making this video. So just a show you how to do that. That's that one there. Now, if I have any white spots, I could come back and I just dab real quick. Now, on this grouping coming down here, I go it like this. I come, here's the feather, the whole feather right there. I come in on a 45-degree angle. And I keep pulling in. In. And I missed a spot right there. Then I come to the 45 and on the other side. And you don't want to go into the feathers next to it or anything, so you try to just start and stop before you get there. Now, this whole grouping coming down here is really going to reflect what this half of this feather looks like, because that's all you're seeing is just half of it. So from this angle, I'm just going to take that same angle, which is like a 45-degree to what the quill would be, and I just keep on going down in that same direction. And then I'll do one more in that area. And if you get a wide space between line work, just come back over it again. You can, as long as you're not pressing the kingdom come, you can go over these lines. There's nothing to stop me. Like, there's a little light white spot. I could just hit that very lightly and you can accommodate that. So I'm going to do all of that down here. I will finish this. These guys up here, I'm going to go this way. It's similar to what we've done here, but you lifted these. So we're burning on the leading edge, and I'm flaring to the left, and I'm flaring to the right. And I'll do that for the group of them in here. And there's, you don't see a quill on these. These are just little feathers. They're so fine that we don't even worry about getting quills in on them. And again, you're burning on the leading edge and lifting as you come out. Because they're so small, they get much darker towards the end, because you can see here there's a spacing, and you're dealing with such little feathers that you're basically burning the whole feather. But you're trying to get the point on and not the whole surface down the pen. That's why I use just the tip of the pen basically to achieve what I'm looking for here. And I'm really trying to just, again, even though I lifted it, flattening the front end of the feather, and then I fan out to the right and to the left of what would be like the middle of the feather. And before you know it, I have all of these done in that grouping. And I just want you to see how that was done. There's how that's done right there. Now, these feathers here, we're going to revert back again. We got quills coming down, which we plugged in here. Now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to burn from the outside in on this grouping. So I'm going to start on a 45-degree angle and just keep on peeling down here. And then this side. Just like this. And then I'm going to do the next one down. And just take your time when you're doing this. And you got to practice a little bit, just like I said before. Like when you were doing the mantle feathers. This, just take your time, get relaxed, and and just get the feel of it. It's a little bit of a technique, and once you accomplish it, you can do some beautiful work on the piece, and it gives you a very realistic look on how to get the feathering on the bird. It really does a great job. Now, that's that grouping there. There's 3 there. You get the little pocket of feathers there. And then I'm going to come down to the end here. We put those quills in for the primaries. It comes down there and there. I'm going to spin this around, and I'm going to again burn from the outside in for the primaries. And I come all the way up. If you notice, I try to stay on the feather, and I keep on dragging it all over the place, and then I do the next feather, I should say. You try to stay within your feather lines when you're burning. And then on this one, the only thing you can see is the quill is underneath the feather, so I'm just taking this same angle I have on the one that was on top, right on down. And what we do is we tend to mimic each one as we go. So as the next feather below this one comes up, we will take the same angle that I'm creating now. So I'm going to come in here. Let me get that spot right there. I'm going to come in here and keep that same angle going, because I have no quill on this feather, at least that's visible. And that's how you do this grouping. Now, I'm not going to do everything on the camera, in front of the camera, I should say, but I will finish all of this, and this is just the same effect going down. Same way with these. I'm going to do the same thing going down here, and I'm going to do the same thing going down there. And the last thing I want to show you is these coverts, the wing coverts. I want you to just come in and burn. Again, this is a reverse of this now. I'm going to have you come in from this angle, strike down the middle, and then go to the left. You're burning deep on the leading edge up top, and you're fanning out on each one. So there's one. I'm going to come right up to the mantle, fan out to the left, fan out to the right. Then you take the next one, you come down the middle of the C, then fan out to the right, and fan out to the left. Then I'll do a couple more. Here's one down there, this way, this way, this way, this way. Again, I'm burning deep on the leading edge, and I'm lifting as I come out. And I'll do one more here. And you're going to do this all the way down to the tail feathers. Missed the spot right there, as you can see, or I can see anyway. Hopefully you can see all that. But that's the techniques I'm doing on these as I go. So again, these came this way and it fanned out. These came the same way, fanned out. Okay, now on these you put the quill in straight down, but you reverse it and burn from the outside in for all of these, all the way down to here. And this style is the same. So I would like you to continue on with the burning and do the exact same thing on the other side. You have quills over here. You got one that leads there. You got a couple down here, and you got a couple of these little ones going down. As you can see over here, they're not burnt yet. And so you're coming in and you're just striking it right down. That's what you do. You put the quill in this way and all the rest of them, and then you're burning this way. So I would like you to do that, and when we get to the next video, we'll have this complete, and then we'll work on the tail, and I'll show you how to address that too. And I hope you got something out of it this time as well. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. And I hope you got something out of this as well. This is a neat technique on how to approach texturing the cardinal. Okay, thank you.